I remember when I went to Mexico to learn Spanish, this was many years ago. I went out one evening with the teachers, and the teachers were Catholic, or they were fallen away Catholics, and one of them, who was a fallen away Catholic, said that she doesn't like going to church because whenever she goes to church, the priest talks about these commandments and what you should be doing and doing this, and you should be doing that, and you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. And she says, when I go to church, what I really want to hear about is love. Tell me about love. Love is what I want to hear about. It's certainly an understandable thing to desire. Who doesn't want to hear about love, since you think about love is so consoling and so uplifting. And yet, at the time, since I wasn't as theologically trained as I am now, being an expert in theology now, I'm just kidding, I remember that I didn't really know what to say in response. But I would ask the question these days, for anyone who would share that same sentiment, what is love, right? What is love? There's so much confusion about what love is in our time, especially how it is communicated in the media, how it is communicated in entertainment. I believe that we could summarize the cultural understanding and its brokenness of love being an emotion, right? A sentiment. I feel drawn to the one that I love. But that is not true love. There can be sentiments associated with true love, but that itself isn't true love. Love in its essence, in its true essence, is to will the good for the other for the other's sake. To will the good of the other for the other's sake. And all actions that are taken to fulfill that desire. That is love. And we know that because God loves us. And that's what he does to us. He loved us into existence. And not just merely a sentiment, if we can say that God has sentiments in the way that we do. I mean, he's transcendent, he transcends us all. But rather, it is in an action that manifests materially. The stuff that you and I are came from the true love of God. For you and me, therefore, who are called to love as God loves, to love others as he loves them, to love him by obedience to him, it's not an abstract thing. You see, because of the fact that we are in a place in which our consciences have been darkened by sin, we can love, but we do so imperfectly, if we do so at all. Therefore, God has given us a great gift. He's given us the gift of revelation, of his divine revelation, and his revelation of the commandments, of laws. See, those laws and those commandments, St. Paul talks about it today, are not merely ways of just making our life difficult. Rather, what those laws are, they're telling us how to love. They're telling us these are the actions. If you love each other and if you love me, these are the things that you will do if you are loving. And the beautiful thing about this also is that when we obey God's commandments, when we obey his laws, especially the moral laws of the church, we find that it will teach us how to truly love. We will find that we will love even more simply by the acts of obeying his commandments. And St. Paul talks about, he gives examples of those. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not covet. And all the ways in which the moral laws of the church and also all of the precepts of the church that guide us, all of it can be summarized, as St. Paul says, and they can be summarized in that one word, which is love. Love of God, love of our neighbor. So my friends, let's understand what love is, understand it well. Let's be encouraged that God gives us guidance on how to love and how to love perfectly. Let's persevere in that. And if we sin, let's ask for God's forgiveness and ask him, help us, Lord, to love as you do.